Hi everybody, welcome to Talk Tuesday. I've remembered my chime today, so there we go. I feel as if it should be jingle bells really, but I don't have any jingle bells, so we'll go with the chime. And I've left the door open behind me because the cat's here with me and she may decide to break for it and go out shortly. So if you start hearing some purring in the background, that is why. Anyway, let's get on with talking about what I'm here to talk about, which is reflecting on your year. Now, it's something that I like to do, and I think it is a really good thing to do at this stage of the year, or at least at some point before the end of the year, because when we come to the new year, we all start to think about the new things that we want to do, maybe setting intentions, making resolutions. But it's hard to do those in a vacuum. It's much easier if you've done a bit of reflection beforehand about the year that's gone by. And I find that reflecting is also really useful because it can help you to put a different perspective on things. Because if you were asked off the cuff, how did your last year go? You might quickly say, oh, it wasn't the best year, or it might have been a great year. But actually, if you're thinking perhaps that it wasn't such a great year, when you actually stop and reflect fully on what has happened in the year, you might find that actually it's a lot better than you thought it was. But whether it's good or bad, it's still a really good thing to reflect on. So I recommend literally thinking about every month that's gone by and think about what happened in those months. And you'll probably find as well, like I often do, that I've completely forgotten about certain things that have happened in particularly the earlier months of the year. So it's a really good exercise to do it so that you can celebrate the successes that you've had, acknowledge your achievements, because there will have been some, even if you don't think there have been. It can be surprising when you look back. And it's really good to do that and give yourself a pat on the back for those achievements, whether they're ones that you had planned to do and they're goals that have been achieved, or whether they're just things that have happened along the way that you didn't expect or didn't plan, but they're still real accomplishments, then it is really worth giving yourself a pat on the back for them. Then moving on to the other things that maybe haven't gone as well as you would have liked them to, particularly if they were planned things or part of your goals. Again, don't beat yourself up about it. It doesn't matter that those haven't been achieved. Just take the lessons from them, because there will have been reasons why things haven't been achieved. And maybe then you can go back and revisit them and think, well, yeah, actually that didn't work this time. I'm going to try it again in the year to come. Or it may be, yeah, actually that didn't work at all in the way that I wanted it to, but I've learned from that there is another way that I can do whatever that thing is that may work. And so it's really worth analysing the things that haven't gone as well. I don't want to call them mistakes, because they're not usually mistakes. They're just things that haven't maybe gone as planned or as well as you wanted them to. And another great thing to do when you are reflecting on your year that's gone by is to feel the gratitude for what has happened. Now, there may be bad things that you don't feel particularly grateful for and you wish hadn't happened, but there'll be a whole load of things that have been great things, or even not so good things where you're grateful for the lesson in them. And it is really, really worthwhile going back, and as you go through your reflection on the months gone by, to feel the gratitude for things that, well, the things that have been really. It doesn't have to just be, oh yeah, that was a great thing, so I'm grateful for that. As I say, we can be grateful also for the lessons and the learning in the things that haven't gone so well. We can be grateful for the small things, even if, I don't know, I should have thought of an example of this. Even if something just really, you thought went terribly and you can't see a lesson in it, it doesn't matter, because you've got through it, so you could be grateful for the fact that you've got through it and you've been strong, you've been resilient. So there's always something within what has happened that we can take from it, even if it isn't an actual lesson. It could be a lesson, it could be gratitude, it could be an acknowledgement of growth, pat on the back for achievement in your life. And as I say, it really is just worth going back and thinking about those, because you will surprise yourself about what has happened. And for me, that creates the best foundation for going forward. Because if you've had a goal that you can tick off and you think, yeah, okay, I've achieved that, then maybe going forward, you want to build on that goal and think, well, okay, what's the next stage? And it's much easier to come up with your new goals, your new intentions for 2024 if you look back at what you've achieved and maybe what you haven't achieved in 2023. So I do really think of it as the foundation for going forward. And I think of it for me in terms of the vision board workshops that I'm running at the beginning of January. I make time to do my own vision board, and I advise also the people who are coming along on the workshops to look back themselves on the year that they've had, because it informs what they want in the future. It may be that something that you really wanted in 2023 hasn't come to fruition, and actually you've realised that you don't really want it anymore anyway, so that's fine, you can park that. There may be experiences that you didn't expect to have at all in the year gone by, but because you've had them, it's given you the idea for something else that you might go on to do in 2024. So that's what I mean by it really being the foundation for what comes in the year ahead. So I do heartily recommend that you take some time to do it. And I know everything gets a bit frantic in the run up to the Christmas period, but one of the times that I find is great for reflection is that kind of no man's land that you can get between Christmas celebrations and the New Year's Eve celebrations, because often after the hectic period of Christmas, it can feel a little bit flat in those in-betweeny days. Not necessarily, it depends what you're doing, but if for you it is a quiet time, then that could be a really good time to reflect on the year that you've had and start thinking about what you'd like to bring in for the year ahead. So that was all I wanted to say about reflection. I am planning on doing another video next Tuesday, which will be the 19th of December, but that will probably then be it for a couple of weeks while I do take some time off over the Christmas holidays, because I'm lucky enough to have family staying with me over that period, and I really want to take that time with them. So whatever you are doing for the next week, I hope you have a great one. I will, as always, post next Monday what I'm going to be talking about on the Tuesday video, but I hope that you've found this at least a little thought-provoking. So have a great week, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.